Hey there, 7th graders, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. You know, it's really easy to just look at a book or an article and see, well, a bunch of words on a page. But reading? Reading is about so much more than that. It's actually about uncovering the hidden tools that writers use to build their worlds, share their facts, and ultimately influence how we think. Today, we're opening up the reader's toolbox. We're going to look closely at the specific strategies authors use, breaking down the exact mechanics of how great texts are constructed. Let's get right into it.
So, how do writers use structure and evidence to shape what readers understand? For this explainer, I want you to put on your detective hat. Every single time you read a text, the author has made specific, highly intentional choices about how to build it in order to shape your worldview. Our job? To investigate those choices. We aren't just reading for fun today, folks. We are investigating the actual blueprint of the text.
Here's a quick roadmap for today. 1. Comparing fiction and nonfiction. 2. Decoding short stories. 3. Analyzing nonfiction and arguments. And 4. Your critical reading journey.
All right, part 1. Comparing fiction and nonfiction, building the foundation.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how our reading world is basically split right down the middle. When we talk about fiction, we are always on the hunt for a theme. You know, that underlying message, lesson, or moral about life that the author hides within a made-up story. But when we flip over to nonfiction, we're looking for a central idea. That's the primary, factual point the author wants you to walk away knowing. They are two completely different tools for two completely different jobs, and knowing exactly which one to look for completely changes how you read a text.
But hey, regardless of whether you're trying to track down a theme in a mystery novel or pinpoint a central idea in a news article, you have to be able to back up your thoughts. And that brings us to citing textual evidence. This is pulling specific facts, quotes, or details straight from the source to prove your point. Let me tell you, it is the absolute cornerstone of everything you will do in 7th grade English. You can't just throw out an opinion. You've got to anchor your thoughts with solid, unshakable proof directly from the text.
Moving right along to part 2, Decoding Short Stories, the Power of Imagination.
Check out our framing question for this unit right here. How do small story choices reveal large ideas about people and choices? I absolutely love this question, because it hints at a massive secret. Absolutely nothing in a short story is an accident. Every tiny detail, every pause, every single word a character blurts out is placed there on purpose by the author to build toward a much larger truth. Let's see how this builds into a reliable system you can actually use.
If you want to decode a story like a pro, just follow these 4 mechanical steps. First up, identify the conflict. Think of the conflict like the engine of a car. It is literally the problem that makes the whole story go. Second, analyze character motivation. Ask yourself, why do these characters do what they do? Third, track plot changes. How does that engine of conflict force the characters to make tough choices and change the plot? And finally, step 4, explain theme development. By watching exactly how characters handle conflict, we uncover the theme, the big, real-world lesson the author wants us to learn.
Okay, so the really crucial point here is that a story isn't just about what happens, it's entirely about who is telling you what happens. Narrator point of view is the specific perspective or the lens through which the story is told. If you swap out the narrator, boom, you completely alter our understanding of the plot and the characters. Just imagine hearing about a massive food fight in the cafeteria from the kid who started it versus hearing about it from the principal. That lens changes literally everything you are allowed to know.
So, to summarize our dive into short stories, I want you to remember this simple equation. Tiny author choices equal massive ideas about humanity. It's really that simple. By actively tracking the plot, understanding character changes, and paying super close attention to the narrator's point of view, you uncover those deep, profound themes an author has woven into their fiction.
Okay, let's dive right into part 3, analyzing nonfiction and arguments, the real world. As we shift our mindset here, I want you to keep this crucial question in focus. How do nonfiction writers build credibility and influence readers? Because in the real world, writers don't just want to entertain you, they want you to trust them. They're out to inform you, persuade you, or maybe even completely change your mind. So, we've got to evaluate their purpose and figure out how reliable they actually are. Think of nonfiction as a map of reality. And it's definitely not just one thing. A writer has to pick their format based on their ultimate goal. Like, if they want to share someone's entire life story, they'll write a biography. Just a slice of their own life, that's a memoir. If they want to deeply explore a single topic or persuade you on a really specific issue, they're going to use an essay, an article, or a formal argument. Grasping the text type immediately tips you off to the author's true purpose.
Now, when an author actively decides to persuade you, they build their argument by stacking these three distinct building blocks. First up is the claim. That is the main argument or big opinion they want you to buy into. But honestly, a claim is super weak without reasons, which provide the logic explaining exactly why that claim is true. Finally, they cement the whole thing together with evidence, the cold, hard facts proving the reasons. If you can spot these three layers, you can understand exactly how a writer is trying to influence you.
But hold on, here is a golden rule for navigating the real world. Before you can debate a nonfiction text, you absolutely must be able to summarize it fairly. An objective summary is a brief explanation of a text's main points that totally leaves out your own personal opinions or feelings. It is 100% neutral. Because, let's be real, if you can't accurately and objectively summarize what an author is saying, you definitely aren't ready to argue with them yet.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 4, Your Critical Reading Journey, Mastering the Tools.
And this brilliantly illustrates the incredible progress you're making. Just look at this. Your toolkit is packed. You aren't just passively reading words anymore. No way. You are citing relevant textual evidence. You're tracking plot and character motivation to uncover hidden themes. You are evaluating author purpose and building rock-solid objective summaries. And most importantly, you're writing evidence-based responses. You, my friends, are becoming true critical, evidence-based thinkers.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you have the tools, how will you read the world differently? Think about it. Every article you click, every story you read, every argument you hear is built using the exact strategies we discussed today. Don't just be a passive reader. Open up that toolbox, hunt for the evidence, question the author's purpose, and uncover those central ideas. Keep analyzing, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.